Imagine a god so powerful. He doesn't need armies, plagues, or messengers to make his will known. All he needs is a single bolt of lightning to strike fear into the hearts of men. In the heart of southeastern Nigeria, the sky itself was believed to be alive, and when it rumbled, it wasn't just thunder. It was the voice of Amadioha, the mighty god of thunder and lightning. His power was unmatched, his wrath unstoppable. But when a proud king, intoxicated by his own arrogance, dared to defy Amadioha's will, the heavens answered with fire. A single strike would change the fate of a kingdom forever. What happens when a mortal dares to challenge the divine? We will find out. So, sit back, because this is African Myths Unveiled. Before we dive deeper into the story, I have a quick question for you. I know that many of you are tuning in from different parts of the world, all united by a love for African mythology. So, I'd love to reconnect. Drop a comment below and let me know where you're watching from. I'll be in the comment section engaging with you. And if you're enjoying the content, a like and subscription would mean the world to me. All right, let's get back to the story. Before we journey into the heart of a king's tragic downfall, let's first uncover the true essence of Amadioha, the deity whose name echoes in the very bones of the Igbo people, sending both fear and awe through their hearts. Amadioha is no mere god of destruction or chaos. He is far greater. He is the embodiment of divine justice, the keeper of moral order, and the enforcer of retribution. In Igbo mythology, Amadioha doesn't whisper his will. He commands it with the deafening roar of thunder. When the people cry out for fairness, when blood is unjustly shed, or when a sacred vow is shattered, Amadioha doesn't offer a warning. He strikes with the unrelenting fury of lightning. His image is often that of a radiant masculine force, powerful and untouchable. Represented by the sacred white ram, he symbolizes purity, light, and righteous wrath. As a sky deity, Amadioha is closely tied to the sun, daylight thunder, and the raw power of lightning. His presence is felt in the crack of thunder after a flash, as if the heavens themselves have been torn open in judgment. It is said that if lightning strikes, it is no accident. It is Amadioha's judgment, his divine retribution served in an instant. Some believe that to be struck by lightning is not just a misfortune, but a message from the heavens. Amadioha has spoken. But fear not, for though he is feared, he is equally revered. People honor Amadioha with sacred offerings, white animals, kola nuts, yams, and prayers during festivals. His temples, built beneath the open sky, are places where reverence and dread coexist. His priests do not beg for favor. They declare the will of the thunder god, for in Amadioha's realm, his word is final. Now, imagine for a moment. What kind of mortal would dare challenge such an unstoppable force? Long ago, in a time when the gods still walked among men and stories were passed from one flame to the next, there existed a kingdom cradled between the rivers of the southeast, NYSC. The people of NYSC thrived, blessed with rich lands, flourishing trade, and the favor of the gods themselves. But at the heart of this prosperous kingdom sat King Jidaifor, a ruler whose name meant the one who holds justice. Yet in a cruel twist of irony, Jidaifor believed himself above all justice, even that of the gods. A king of immense power, Jidaifor had conquered neighboring lands, silenced his detractors, and declared his word to be supreme, greater than the will of any spirit, greater than the command of any god. One day, a humble priest from Amadioha's shrine came to the king, bearing a warning. "My king," the priest said with reverence, "Amadioha has seen the blood you have spilled unjustly. He awaits your atonement." But Judeophor, brimming with arrogance, threw back his head and laughed. "Let him wait forever. I am king, not him. If Amadioha dares, let him come down himself." A chilling silence fell over the court. Even the winds seemed to hold their breath. In the land of the Igbo, words are more than just speech. They are powerful spells. And to challenge the thunder god with words was to invite the very storm. That night, the heavens themselves responded. Thunder rumbled across the sky like the fury of 1,000 war chariots. To the east, a cloud shaped like a ram's head loomed above the palace. Lightning crackled, dancing in the air. Something was coming. And yet, there sat King Judeophor, wine in hand, smiling, unaware of the storm that was about to break upon him. For Amadioha does not forgive arrogance. The night was heavy, with an unnatural stillness. Not a single insect buzzed, no owl hooted, even the wind held its breath. The kingdom of NYSC seemed to be suspended in time, as if the earth itself was waiting for something monumental to happen. Within the royal compound, King Judeophor remained seated in defiance. His warriors, wives, and counselors gathered around him, but his arrogance outshone them all. The sky above was alive with fury. Clouds twisted and churned, thick and black, as if they were summoned by the gods themselves. Yet, Judeophor, drunk on power and pride, dismissed it all as nothing more than a passing storm. "Let the sky grumble," he boomed, his voice full of contempt. "I am the lion of the earth. No god commands me." But deep within the kingdom, far from the palace, an old woman, once a revered priestess of the rain grove, felt the shift. Alone in the village outskirts, she gazed into the sky with a sense of impending dread. She muttered softly to herself, "Onwu adila nso." Death is near. In the Igbo world, when Amadioha decides to strike, the signs are unmistakable. They are not subtle whispers. They are bold, undeniable omens. It begins with the ram, an ethereal creature not made of flesh, but of lightning and storm, a being of pure divine energy, visible only to the spiritually attuned. That night, as the storm brewed, a young boy tending his goats by the forest edge saw it. A colossal white ram, glowing as though it were forged from the very light of the heavens. Its eyes burned like molten fire, gazing upward as if it too were waiting for something. And then, as quickly as it appeared, it vanished. Next came the oppressive heat, thick, suffocating, and unnatural. The air felt as if it were on fire. Village lamps flickered and died, the flames unable to endure. Animals scattered, disturbed by an energy they could not understand. Birds circled wildly, their instincts lost. Even the chickens, those steadfast creatures, fell silent. And then, the lightning. But this wasn't just ordinary lightning. It didn't strike the earth at random. Instead, it traced symbols across the sky. Ancient Igbo Ukara symbols, only understood by the priests and the spirits. The people of NYSC looked up in terror, knowing what these symbols meant. Judgment was coming, judgment from the heavens. Meanwhile, within the royal palace, cracks began to form in the marble floor beneath Judeophor's throne, as if the earth itself was groaning in warning. In a desperate attempt to quell the fear spreading through the palace, the royal drummers began their rhythmic beats, trying to drown out the growing tension. But the moment their drums struck, the thunder hit, so powerful that it shattered the drums in an instant. The skins tore, and the sound of thunder reverberated like a battle cry. The musicians fled, their courage shattered. Judeophor, still intoxicated by his own pride, rose from his throne. Confused yet unfazed, he walked out onto the palace balcony, spread his arms wide to the storm, and shouted, "If Amadioha is real, let him strike me down. I fear no ghost. I rule by my own hand." And in that very moment, time itself seemed to stop. A fierce wind swept through the palace, extinguishing every torch, plunging the court into darkness. The sky above didn't just darken. It tore open, as if a veil was being ripped apart by an invisible force. And then, the inevitable happened. One single bolt. Blinding, deafening, unyielding. This was no random strike. It wasn't aimed at the ground. It wasn't aimed at the palace. It was aimed with terrifying precision at the heart of the royal throne. The great throne, made from sacred Iroko wood and inlaid with gold, turned to ash in an instant. Jideofor? Gone. There was no body, no remains. Only his broken crown, lying in the midst of a circle of scorched earth where he had once stood. The people of Nuri-Oba cried out in shock and fear, their voices lost beneath the deafening roar of the storm. The heavens wept, rain pouring down, as if to cleanse the land. And the very next day, a white ram, just like the one from the Omen, was seen wandering near the ruins of the palace. No one dared approach it. They let it pass, knowing that it bore the mark of the divine. The gods, it seemed, had already chosen the next king, not through the will of man, but by divine selection. The people of Nuri-Oba turned to the priests of Amadioha. They fasted, they mourned, they rebuilt the shrine that their former king had desecrated with his arrogance. From that moment on, whenever thunder rolled over Nuri-Oba, children were taught to bow their heads in reverence, whispering, "Chineke biko, Amadioha, spare us." Why does the story of Amadioha's wrath endure? Why do the people of Nuri-Oba still whisper of the king who defied the gods and paid the ultimate price? The myth isn't just about the fall of a king. It's a warning. It's a story that speaks to the consequences of hubris and the profound need for humility in the face of forces much greater than ourselves. In Igbo culture and many African cultures, the gods are not distant, detached beings. They are alive. They are active. They are present in the lives of the people, guiding, correcting, and sometimes punishing. The gods don't simply observe the world. They shape it. And Amadioha, the god of thunder and lightning, embodies that power, maintaining the balance between the human world and the divine realm. His anger isn't random. It's swift, it's just, and it's necessary. It's the force that restores order when that balance is broken. The lesson this myth imparts is undeniable. No mortal, no matter their strength or stature, is above divine law. King Jideofor, intoxicated by his own power, thought his throne made him invincible, but his arrogance led to his undoing. Amadioha's thunderbolt wasn't just a punishment, it was an act of restoration, a divine reminder that no one can escape the reach of justice. The white ram that appeared after the king's demise wasn't just an animal, it was a symbol of purity, of atonement. It wandered through the kingdom as a sign that the storm had passed, that the land had been cleansed, and that balance had been restored. The tyrant had fallen, and now peace would return to Nuri-Oba. This myth holds immense cultural weight, especially in African spirituality and governance. It reminds us that leadership demands wisdom, humility, and a deep respect for the forces that govern the world. In African belief, gods are not abstract ideas. They demand action. They demand reverence. Amadioha's thunder is not just natural lightning, it is moral authority. His strike is not simply a physical force, but a manifestation of justice. It's a reminder to all leaders that their power is not absolute, and that their actions must align with the will of the people and the divine. For the people of Nuri-Oba and the broader Igbo community, the lesson is clear. True leadership is not about ruling with an iron fist. It's about listening to the voices of the people and respecting the divine forces that shape the world. Whether in traditional societies or the modern world, The concept of divine justice remains vital. Human laws can never fully dictate morality. They must be in harmony with the greater forces of the earth. This myth, passed down through generations, isn't just a tale of retribution. It's a story of restoration. It's a reminder that harmony with the world and with the divine is essential for peace. It's a reminder that we are not separate from nature, but intricately connected to it. Our actions have consequences, and they ripple through the world. Now that you've heard the story of Amadioha, the thunder god, and the fall of King Gideafor, take a moment to reflect. What does this myth say about power, humility, and the consequences of overstepping boundaries? Does it resonate with the lessons we face in our world today? If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more incredible myths and legends from African culture. Which myth would you like to hear next? Drop your suggestions in the comments. I read them all. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the heart of African mythology. Until next time, remember, respect the forces around you, and never forget, even when the skies are calm, the thunder can strike at any moment.